And I'm talking to the men out there, but if you're just a teenager like me and you want to achieve the level of discipline and the body and the diet that I have, I can teach you 2 lessons that will get you there flawlessly. Because I know that deep in your soul, you want to be just flawlessly disciplined and doing the hard stuff with love and doing them without even think about it. The first thing that we should cover up, and probably the most important thing that you should do, is stop using your brain while doing the hard task. Because one of the reasons you're unhappy, you're always anxious, you're stressed, is because you're using your brain too much. You're thinking too much about training, man. You're always thinking about, am I overtraining? Am I doing this correctly? Am I doing that incorrectly? Am I breathing properly? There's this guy looking at me, man, just turn off your fucking brain. Go and do the exercises. Go and do the fucking exercises. Because I was like that before training. It was in my head, I think I should train more light today because I slept half an hour less than the time that I should. I haven't eaten in like the right time. I haven't eaten the right calories. Oh, I overate a little bit. I've had a pretty stressful week. My cortisol levels are high and all the stuff. But once you just go out there, and once when you do the hard work without thinking about it, when you stop using your brain, you start enjoying it. The moment I started going to kickboxing without using my brain and just concentrating on the combinations that the coach told me without thinking about anything else, that's when I had the most progress. That's when I felt the most happy. That's when I was in a flow state, when I was just not thinking about anything. And that's when I'm happiest in life, when I'm just not thinking about anything. That's when the time just goes by very fast. You don't feel the time. You lose perception of time when you're in a flow state. And yeah, of course, most of the times the thing that happened is you get in a flow state like once or twice, but after that you start overthinking about it. You have stressful day-to-day life. You cannot really concentrate on the work, and you start stress about bullshit that's not even important. You start thinking about the wrong stuff, and you just don't make any progress because of your brain. Have you ever wondered why people that are less intelligent than you, and people that you call dumbasses, people that you really call dumb, that cannot use their brain, are getting all the girls? Because they're just going to them, turn off their brain, and just talk to them. Go on autopilot. They go on autopilot, and that's what girls like. Because they don't give a shit if a girl rejects them, if a girl is not in the same vibe as them. They don't even care what the girl is saying. They just want to fuck her, you know? And they just use some basic flirt and some basic conversation skills, and they just get her because they're on autopilot. Do you ever wondered why dumbasses that cannot even read go to the gym and have insane progress, are very good at sports? Simply because they don't think. Have you wondered why people who smoke, who have a little bit of belly, drink, are still pretty good athletes, man? Because they just don't give a shit. Yeah, they probably know that smoking and drinking is not good for their sport experience and for their sport performance, but they do it anyway. And when they go to the gym, they train harder than you. They are not stressing about it. They're just training and giving everything that they have. And that's why they're better than you. Once you realize you need to stop using your brain because your brain is stopping you from the potential you have in sports, is the moment when you will become a fucking monster, no matter in the sports or in the gym. Once you turn off your fucking brain, you stop caring that much about training, you just train hard. Once you don't care that much about every calorie, If you have to lose weight, eat less food. If you have to bulk weight, just eat more food. Of course, always eat good food if you can. But even when you really don't have the opportunity and you just had to, for some reason, eat like a little bit of junk food, which I do not recommend in any case. It's better to fast than to eat that bullshit. But even if you have done it, don't just start beating yourself for doing it. You have done it. You cannot go back in time. Going the other day with your normal diet, with the best diet that you know that works, or even if you overeat or you undereat, don't panic, don't start to think, just go to your normal day-to-day life. One day is not gonna do that much of difference. It doesn't matter if it's in the gym or if it's in the business. Do you think that Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk care if they're gonna be burnt out? Or they care if 12 hours a day is too much of work? Their brain is not gonna recover well. Or they have slept 6 hours and now they cannot work. Do you think they think like that? No, this is a small dick thinking. This is a small dick energy. They just keep work no matter what. Drink 2-3 coffees, a liter of water, and back in the game. That's what they're doing. Or imagine like a very big natural, not even someone with steroids, a big natural guy who has a lot of muscle, has abs, and has like a big beard, and has a family of 2, and is 35, and who is training like hard, like giving everything from himself after a 12-hour work. Do you think he stressed over overtraining? Do you think that he's anxious about overtraining when he had a 12-hour work and he needs to get home, give attention to his children, and cook the dinner? Do you think he gonna stress about overtraining, or he just gonna go and give everything that he has? And do you think when he comes home, after probably not even eating on his 12-hour work and has only one meal a day, do you think he stressed about overeating, or he has a better things to stress, man? Sometimes using your brain too much and having too much free time and too much free will and too much free time to use your brain will sabotage you. Because once you have a lot of comfort, your body thinks how to keep that comfort, you know. You know what I'm talking about, right? These days when you just stay at home all day, you're like just chilling, you don't have school, you scroll on your phone a lot, you probably watch movies or play a little bit of video games, and you just get in your comfort zone. That's when you actually start to overthink about some stuff. You overthink about giving up or not training that hard, or you just understand me, right? You start to think a little bit like a pussy when you get a little bit of comfort, and you start giving yourself some deadlines that are actually not deadlines, that you can easily go through these deadlines, but you set them just because you had comfort and just because you had the opportunity to use your brain. And I'm not saying if you're smart that's a bad thing, because of course a dumb person who just puts in the work and puts in the hours is going to be way better than a smart person who just thinks about it. Yeah, maybe you will know what will be the most optimal thing to do, but you're not even doing the unoptimal thing just because you think you're some smart ass and that you know everything on earth and you're some philosopher or something. And the dumb person, what he's doing, he just puts in the work. But then it comes the smart ass that's learn how to turn off his brain for the work that he's doing, for the workouts, for the work on the computer, for the business that he has. He learns how to just turn off his brain and just work. And he become ultra successful. He become like ultra rich, ultra shredded. Because he sees the shortcut that the dumb person not gonna see. He sees the shortcuts that he needs to achieve the dream that he has. That's good when you're God gifted and you're smart and you can think logically. Yeah, it's a gift. But sometimes, as everything in life, it gets a bad side. Because sometimes it's just a tool for extra procrastination. It's a tool for a lot of excuses and a lot of anxiety too. A lot of literally smart people with good grades who don't even study, who are just naturally smart, suffer from anxiety. You saw them, right? These nerds who cannot talk without stunting on their words, and they always gives so much brain to just everything, to the little words that he's saying, to every rep that he's doing, to every approach he is making. He just gives too much brain for it, man. And that's why he's insecure. That's why he cannot do anything without feeling pressure, without feeling anxiety, because his brain is sabotaging him. But once this kid learns how to turn off his brain and just do the masculine work, he becomes unstoppable. He literally wiped the competition, because now he can turn off his brain, but after he finished the works, he can turn it back on, which the dumb person cannot really make. He turned his brain on after the hard work, and he actually started to think about this time when he turned off his brain, and he see the shortcuts while he recovers and he rests, and he go back the other day and he become better. That's the first main thing. If you learn to do this, you literally have done 50% with the consistency that you need. And the other 50% are actually kept in staying consistent even when you don't see results. That's probably the hardest thing, man. That's the thing everybody suffers from. That's why people get fat and cannot lose weight. That's why people stay skinny, stay with anorexia. Simply because they just cannot keep it up with the work. Because they're motivated, right? They're doing everything right. 1-2 weeks without a cheat day. Everything by the book. They're obsessing with it. But they don't really see results. Because they're looking in the mirror every day. They cannot really see the progress. And even if they have progress, they cannot really see it because they're looking at themselves every day. And it's the same in business, man. You're doing little bits of progress. You get better at talking, you get better at editing, you get better at sales. But you cannot really see it because you're doing it every day. You understand it most of the times once it's too late. Once you give up, you understand how much progress you've made through the journey. But it's too late, man. You have to come back, and once you come back, you do the same shit all over again, give up again, and see the progress that you have done once you give up, and start going all over again, and that's how you don't have any progress. And you just get unmotivated every time you give up, you get back on it, and you just die without making any progress. But here it comes the guy who learns how to stop using his brain and just do the work. He don't see progress, but he knows that he has to turn off his brain and just do the fucking work that he has to do. And he does the work, and years go by. He just have a 2-3 days rest days, because let's say he needed that because of work, of other work, and he just has some rest days. And years have gone by, and he looks himself in the mirror after not looking at himself in like 3-4 days. He looks a picture which was 1-2 years ago when he just started, and he's looking at the picture and he's like, holy shit, man, look at the fucking progress I have done. I built my dream body without even realizing it, because I was turning my brain every time I go to the gym. My power is insane. without even realizing it. Just because I got 3 rest days and I looked the weights that I was doing in the first year, and he's like, I'm grateful for that progress. And again, the same thing, turn off his brain when he goes to training and everything. You don't have to, but probably if you are highly intelligent and you're watching a content like that, you will probably be sabotaged by your brain. Once this guy see this progress, he gets even more motivated and he just don't stop. And even if he hit a plateau, he don't stop. He keep going. Even when he hits a plateau. And once the guy who don't see progress, the guy who just hit a plateau, keep going with the workout, with the business, even when he don't have views, even when he don't have sales. He just continues. He just mindlessly continues. While the smart ass that uses his brain non-stop and has high IQ and is liked by the teachers overthink it. He had trained maybe 3 months, 1 year, 2 years. But the first moment when he got on a little bit of stress and has some hardship that God gave him to see if he can manage stress, he just gave up because he stopped seeing progress for a week or for a month or for 2, or he started downgrading a little bit because of the stress he has, or because some other little thing that would not be there after 2 months. And after the just a little bit of pressure, the smartass gave up. He could have worked out even for like a year or 2, but still give up everything and just start training because of the weak mentality, because he's not able to just work like a monkey. And again, that's the reason why you always see like poor people, people from villages, people who just don't have anything, who don't have computers, who have just worked on the field with the horses and with the corn, becoming professional athletes, because they never give a shit about overtraining. They never give like a shit if they slept well or if they eaten well and just worked. They put their head down and just worked. And most of them, they don't even recovered well, but they still kept working. And now when they have nutritionists, personal coaches, that's why they become even better. But man, just get ashamed that people with less opportunities and less money than you had better results than you. Be a little bit ashamed and think about if you have to turn off your brain, because I think you have to. And don't forget, brother, if you like the video, you do to me a lot if you just like the video, subscribe and share that with a friend who needs to turn off his brain. So fucking love you, brother. Bye.